The glowing dots on the monitor looked meaningless at first. Lisa Johnson rubbed her weary eyes and focused again. The arrangement was unlike anything she had encountered in her 15 years as an astronomer at the Arecibo Observatory. She rechecked her instruments twice, then summoned her colleague. "Frank, you need to look at this," she said, her voice edged with tension. Frank Miller shuffled over, clutching his coffee. When his eyes met the readings, the cup slipped from his grip, smashing across the floor. Neither noticed the spreading brown puddle. That can't be right," Frank whispered. "Those aren't natural formations." Within 3 hours, observatories worldwide confirmed Lisa's find. 2,000 colossal objects had appeared at the rim of the solar system, moving in flawless formation. They were heading straight for Earth. By morning, the news spread globally. Crowds gathered in streets, homes, and bars, staring at screens as blurred footage revealed the oncoming armada. Panic sent some rushing for supplies. Others stood frozen in disbelief. Many prayed. At the Pentagon, General Alan Crawford studied satellite feeds, face grim. The president had declared a worldwide emergency, summoning all world leaders. "What are our options?" the president asked over a secure link. "Sir, we face about 2,000 ships, each bigger than our largest carriers," Crawford answered. "If they mean hostility, our weapons may be useless," the Chinese premier spoke next. "Our forces are mobilized, but we share the American conclusion. Alone we cannot prevail." For the first time in history, bitter rivals reached out. Russia, America, China, Iran, Israel, ancient grudges were abandoned before the threat of extinction. 6 days after Lisa's discovery, the alien fleet entered orbit. Vast hulls eclipsed the sun in places, casting cities into shadow. Then a message echoed on every channel, every tongue. "People of Earth, we are the Vraxian Empire. Your world belongs to us. Yield your leaders and resources, and your deaths will be swift. Resist, and we will destroy your cities. You have 12 hours. The ultimatum was blunt, terrifying. Yet in those 12 hours, something unexpected occurred. Instead of collapse, humanity prepared. "They don't understand us," said Susan Adams, a Boston school teacher while helping load buses. "They think surrender is in our nature." Across the globe, people evacuated, vanishing underground into mountains or rural lands. Governments shared strategy. Scientists worked furiously to study fragments of alien data. When 12 hours ended, Earth's reply came not from politicians, but from ordinary citizens in New York, London, Beijing, Moscow, and beyond. The Vraxians found not capitulation, but deserted streets. Commander Krall, master of the fleet, scowled at his reports. "What do you mean, empty?" he roared, his gray flesh turning purple. "Supreme Commander, the humans are gone," an officer replied. "Only a few remain, too frail or ill to flee." Krall slammed his three-fingered hand against the console. "Find them! They cannot have gone far. Deploy search squads to the outskirts," Krall ordered. The first Vraxian forces descended into Chicago. They marched through deserted streets in units of 10, their armored frames echoing, with metallic clanks. Their weapons could liquefy steel, and their helmets glowed with crimson eyes. Yet they were unaware eyes were on them. From a high-rise on Michigan Avenue, Sam Cooper steadied his binoculars. The former Army Ranger remained behind with a few volunteers. Their mission was simple: study the enemy. "Armor thickest at the chest," Sam whispered into a radio. "Joints look weak, especially knees. And those tanks on their backs, breathers maybe." Similar observations unfolded across the globe. Humanity was collecting intelligence. The Vraxians staged their first spectacle in Rio, targeting stubborn holdouts. From orbit, their blasts turned 5 city blocks into glass. They broadcast the devastation worldwide, anticipating surrender. Instead, reports of ambushes reached them. In Seoul, delivery riders lured soldiers into an alley rigged with explosives. In Cairo, alien comms abruptly failed, leaving units cut off. In London, 3 ships mysteriously stalled after refueling with local water. These were not armies striking back. These were ordinary people resisting with whatever tools they had. Commander Kroll was baffled. His species had conquered 17 worlds. Normally, one demonstration broke morale. "These humans are irrational," he told his war council. "We've shattered their structures, wield superior arms. Why do they resist?" A week into invasion, the Vraxians held the skies, but Earth's surface grew perilous. Troops reported ambushes by crude yet deadly traps. Water and air samples poisoned them. Electromagnetic pulses disrupted their systems unpredictably. Deep beneath Denver, Dr. Karen White labored endlessly. Her biochemists dissected a captured soldier and uncovered a vital truth. "Their breathers filter our air," she explained to Brass. "Something here is toxic. Break those filters. They're exposed." Crawford leaned in. "How fast can you weaponize that weakness?" 3 days, Karen answered. Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, Steve Miller led engineers around a downed scout craft. "Their tech isn't sorcery," he told his team while carefully prying panels. "It's rules. Different rules, but rules. We can learn." By the end of month 1, Kroll confronted bitter reality. His promised swift conquest was becoming a bleeding campaign. Humanity wasn't fighting as one army. They were a million resistances, adapting each clash. "We should rethink our strategy," Krell, his deputy, advised. Kroll snarled. "Never. Ready the fleet for orbital strikes. If they won't yield cities, burn the planet itself." But Kroll didn't know. His transmission was intercepted. Humanity now understood his plan, and they were already preparing. "They think they know us," Crawford told the Joint Chiefs. "They don't know what survival means to humans." Across the world, preparations shifted. People no longer merely hid. They braced to unleash their fury, to prove why Earth's invasion would become legend whispered across galaxies. Commander Kroll gazed out from his flagship's great window, Earth turning beneath. His mission unraveled. After 6 weeks, his control was shrinking. "This is unprecedented in all Vraxian history, Supreme Commander," Officer X reported. "Another 12 ground teams gone, all in the region humans call Wyoming." Kroll's breathing quickened. "That land is scarcely populated. How do they lose there?" "Unknown, sir. Last report said locals used wildlife to track us." The invaders had expected conquest with ease. Their studies showed a fractured world with crude arms. They had never grasped humanity's speed at adaptation. In Wyoming's mountains, Mary Collins crouched with her hunting rifle. The former park ranger had tracked beasts here her whole life. Now she hunted aliens. "They always patrol the same paths," she whispered to fellow hunters, "and they've yet to learn how to move." "Quietly in the snow," Mary finished. Rick Barnes adjusted his scope. "Their breathers freeze in this cold. Slows them down." She pointed at the ridge above. "Joe's team placed jammers there. When patrols lose comms, they fall back to the last contact point. That's where we'll take them." The trap was brutal in its simplicity. As the Vraxians marched into the kill zone, shaped charges hidden beneath ice tore upward. Their armor, built for plasma fire, crumpled against directed blasts. Survivors staggered, only to be finished by precision rifle shots aimed at vulnerable joints. Such ambushes unfolded everywhere. In the Amazon, native guides led fighters through invisible trails. In Afghanistan, veterans of endless wars used caves to strike unseen. In Finland, masters of winter taught others how to weaponize the freeze. Dr. Karen White's work spread like wildfire. Her corrosive mist, designed to eat through alien filters, was manufactured in secret labs from Manila to Mexico City. Distribution varied, through ventilation systems, or sprayed directly by martyrs who gave their lives to take squads with them. In Detroit, whole units fell this way. Meanwhile, Steve Miller's engineers pressed on in an abandoned factory littered with alien wreckage. They use crystals we've never seen, he explained, but their grids mirror our electrical systems. We can disrupt them. A worker lifted a makeshift device. We built a pulse generator tuned to their frequencies. Range is short. 50 feet, Steve cautioned. Get close, it'll fry their gear. Paula Martinez, once an auto worker, now led a cell. We'll get close enough, she vowed. At last, Kral unleashed orbital fire. His fleet targeted major cities, reducing blocks to rubble. Yet the destruction fell flat. Most were deserted already, and devastation only steeled human will. After Paris was struck, French fighters captured a landing craft. Within days, humans learned to fly it, and the first stolen ship annihilated a command hub in Africa. On his flagship, Kral listened as panicked reports poured in. Ground troops were vanishing, supply chains severed. Even secure comms were breached, false orders spread by humans using cracked codes. Unacceptable, he bellowed. They are primitives. How? His science officer hesitated. Sir, we underestimated them. They adapt. Every loss makes them sharper. Bring me a prisoner, Kral growled. I will study their minds. Beneath the Rockies, humanity's strike was ready. Crawford stood over a global map of enemy positions. Beside him, Doug Peterson, once a Navy captain, now commanded Earth's ragtag alien fleet. 14 ships operational, Doug reported. Crews trained in basics. Not equal yet, but we can sow chaos. Olivia Martinez, cybersecurity expert, looked up. We infiltrated their network 6 hours before detection. That's our window. Then here's the plan, Crawford said. Peterson's ships use stolen ID codes. Olivia sends false orders, scattering their fleet. While they chase ghosts, we hit their bases. It was desperate, but it was hope. At dawn, 14 stolen craft lifted skyward. Simultaneously, Olivia's team flooded alien comms with phantom threats in Antarctica, the Pacific, and the Sahara. Vraxian fleets scrambled. On Earth, real strikes landed. Jack Pfizer, ex-Special Forces, led the raid on the largest North American base. Aim for joints, aim for breathers, he told his squad. Move in threes, no lone heroes. The battle was swift. With fleets chasing shadows, ground units stood exposed. Fighters clad in improvised armor cut through alien ranks with precision. By midday, the North American command was captured. Across Earth, victory echoed. For the first time, invaders were retreating. Kral reeled at the news. How? They're primitives, his deputy replied quietly. They are not like others. We conquered. Under threat, they don't break, they change. Kral prepared a counterstrike when sensors shrieked. New signatures, massive ships, dwarfing even his fleet, slid into the system in flawless formation. Unknown arrivals, the sensor chief reported, voice shaking. Sir, they are not human. Neither side realized they were being watched. The Galactic Concord, an ancient coalition, had monitored since day one. Expecting another easy conquest, they instead witnessed humanity's terrifying resilience. Now their fleets emerged, vessels glimmering with shifting colors like flowing rivers. On Earth, eyes turned skyward. More aliens? Rick Barnes muttered, standing with Mary Collins in Wyoming. She lowered her binoculars. If they are, we'll fight them too. In the captured base, Jack Pfizer's team worked frantically. We're receiving Vraxian signals, said Luis Gomez, ex-radio operator. Kral is asking these newcomers for aid. Jack frowned. They fear them. That means trouble. The realization spread quickly. If the Vraxians feared, who were these beings? In orbit, Kral's ship was encircled by shimmering leviathans. His comms officer paled. Sir, they identify as the Galactic Concord. They order us to stand down. They've sent codes. Authentic ones. Crawl froze. The Concord? It's a myth. No, sir, it's real. For the first time since invading, true terror gripped him. The Concord had caught his fleet in illegal conquest. Then a broadcast lit every channel, human and alien alike. A tall figure with flowing, water-like eyes appeared. People of Earth, soldiers of the Vraxian Empire, I am Ambassador Xylith of the Galactic Concord. This unauthorized war ends now. Vraxian forces will withdraw and prepare for escort out of the system. The ambassador hesitated, her gaze seeming to meet every viewer directly. To the people of Earth, the Concord seeks peaceful contact. We ask for a meeting with your leaders as soon as possible. Across the globe, humanity reacted, with equal parts hope and doubt. After months of war with aliens, the sudden arrival of a more advanced race promising peace felt suspiciously convenient. General Crawford spoke before the Emergency Council of World Leaders. We cannot trust them without caution. Still, if they are driving the Vraxians back, it grants us vital relief. What if it's deception? Asked the Russian president. Another alien snare. We meet them, the Indian Prime Minister declared firmly. But not altogether, and not our highest leadership. Our caution has been earned in blood. The council agreed. 5 separate sites across Earth would host the meetings. Each would welcome mixed national delegations, but no head of state would appear. While talks were prepared, humanity pressed on with war readiness. The fall of Vraxian strongholds had given Earth rare access to alien advances. Scientists and engineers toiled constantly to study and adapt it. Paul Rodriguez, a physicist in New Mexico, achieved a breakthrough on enemy shield mechanics. Their barriers rely on a tunable frequency. If we align our nuclear payloads to exploit the gaps, their defenses collapse. Military observers heard in silence as he explained. The finding was instantly classified, and Earth's nuclear stockpile was reworked as a precaution should the Concord turn hostile. The first encounter with Ambassador Xylith occurred in Geneva. Dr. Emma Hill, the diplomat representing the North American Alliance, waited anxiously as the alien vessel settled onto cleared ground near the city. When Xylith appeared with her delegation of mixed species, Emma was stunned by the variety. Some resembled humans, others were wholly foreign, shimmering crystalline beings, drifting gas entities sealed in mechanical casings, and figures shaped entirely from radiant light. "Thank you for agreeing to meet," Xylith said, her voice lyrical. "The Concord has observed your world since the Vraxian War began. You watched us suffer for months without intervening?" Emma demanded. Xylith's features hinted at regret. The Concord follows strict non-interference rules with young civilizations. We watch, but rarely step in, except under extraordinary threat. 2,000 Savodi warships count as extraordinary, Emma pressed. You misunderstand, Dr. Hill. We did not intervene because of invasion. We came because of how you resisted it. A shiver ran through Emma despite the bright day. What does that mean? Xylith gestured, conjuring a hologram between them. It displayed battles from across Earth, humans adapting, capturing enemy technology, and turning it back against their foes. In all our centuries of monitoring, we have never witnessed such a thing, she explained. Most species, faced with overwhelming superiority, surrender or perish quickly. You not only endured, you began shifting the war. The other 4 meetings carried the same revelation. The Concord had not come to rescue humanity. They came because humanity terrified them. At the Rocky Mountain Command Facility, General Crawford received compiled reports. So, they're not here to save us, he concluded darkly. They're here to contain us. Not exactly, sir, his aide corrected. Ambassador Xylith claims they offer us membership in their Concord, though the conditions are unusual. In the days that followed, the terms emerged. The Galactic Concord would indeed share knowledge and technology with Earth, but humans were to be restricted from building certain weapons and barred from expanding beyond their solar system without explicit approval. "They want to cage us," Jack Fisher said in a strategy session. "They fear what we might become." He was right. The Concord envoys had been unsettled by what they'd seen. Humans didn't merely fight. They evolved through struggle at a rate that defied reason. In only 6 months, they had grasped technology that should have required decades. While world leaders argued over the Concord's proposal, Ambassador Xylith met privately with Dr. Karen White, whose formula had crippled the Vraxian respiratory systems. "You made this counteragent in under a week?" Xylith asked, studying her scribbled equations. "How?" Karen gave a weary shrug. "We had no other choice. Adapt or die." "That is exactly what alarms us," Xylith confessed. "Most species reach natural limits. Yours accelerates under stress." The truth was, the Galactic Concord had been observing Earth for centuries. They had witnessed humanity climb from horse-drawn wagons to orbital flight in less than a century. But the Vraxian War had revealed something far greater: humanity's true capacity when staring down extinction. Now the galaxy faced a decision: accept this volatile species as allies, or prepare to confront them as something worse. Commander Krell, awaiting judgment on a Concord ship, understood best. "We didn't just lose a war," he told his captors. "We unleashed something that will change the stars forever." Concord delegates spread across Earth, visiting battlegrounds, scarred by Vraxian fire. Small hovering recorders drifted around them like metallic insects. In Detroit, a Concord researcher named Trell inspected the improvised weapons Steve Miller's crew had built from car scrap and alien parts. Trell's copper-like skin gleamed, his elongated frame bent as he lifted a crude emitter. "This pulse generator, made from auto batteries?" Steve nodded. "We used what was available. The concepts weren't so different, just more advanced." Trell's inner eyelid slid sideways. "Yet you had no manuals, no training in their physics." Paula Martinez. "Cut in. We tore one apart, trial and error." Trell scribbled notes across a glowing pad, concealing the fact his own people had needed 20 years to create similar countermeasures centuries earlier. Similar discoveries unfolded worldwide. In Wyoming's high ranges, a crystalline being called Zarayan walked with Mary Collins on patrol. "You used animal tracking techniques against starships?" it asked, its voice chiming like bells. Mary checked her rifle. "Beasts or aliens? It's the same. Tracks, disturbed snow, heat trails, movement patterns. Honestly, the Vraxians were easier. Then elk." Zarayan's body vibrated in surprise. "And this skill is widespread among your kind?" "Not all, just hunters and trackers." "But we shared. Times faster under duress than any recorded species. Their leap in technology during the Vraxian War suggests they could reach Tier 3 within 5 years, if unchecked." The chamber stirred. Tier 3 civilizations wielded stellar travel and solar-scale energy. For most Concord members, such progress had taken millennia. "What drives this adaptability?" asked an insectoid delegate. A small, furred envoy stepped forward. "Our analysis points to their peculiar social structure. They are fiercely individualistic, yet capable of intense cooperation. Under threat, they don't merely fight as soldiers or as one body. They behave like distributed problem solvers, each taking part of the whole. And their emotions, responses?" Xylith asked quietly. "Extreme by galactic standards," the furred envoy replied. "Their fear fuels them rather than freezing them. Their anger sharpens their focus instead of clouding it. On Earth, debates over the Concord's proposal raged on. The newly formed United Earth Council gathered to weigh the offer. They promise us technology beyond imagination, said Brazil's president. Medicine, limitless energy, food for all, yet they insist on keeping us confined. General Crawford reminded the assembly, no expansion without approval, restricted weapons, constant oversight. Jack Pfizer, now a security advisor, cut in bluntly. Fear drives them. That gives us bargaining power. Emma Hill, after repeated discussions with Ambassador Xylith, raised a softer point. I don't think it's only fear. They worry we might destroy ourselves, or others, without guidance. Their history holds civilizations that advanced too fast and collapsed. The council remained split. Some saw the offer as a gift, a chance, to join something greater. Others saw a cage to limit humanity's rise. Meanwhile, scientists pressed forward. Paul Rodriguez adapted Vraxian shields for Earth's weapons, then turned to Concorde vessels. Granted partial access, his team studied their outer hulls. Their propulsion is unlike anything known, Paul told colleagues. It doesn't simply travel space, it reshapes it. Can we copy it? A military observer asked. Paul paused. In time, yes. We lack the necessary materials, but the science is within reach. That report reached the Earth Council. If humans could grasp conquered technology by watching, maybe help and restrictions were unnecessary. Unaware, Xylith advanced diplomacy, arranging tours aboard a conquered flagship to inspire awe. Emma Hill was chosen to attend. As her shuttle neared the colossal ship, shaped like a vast leaf sprouting crystalline towers, Emma's wonder mixed with distrust. Inside, marvels awaited, food from thin air, medical tools that healed instantly, communications spanning galaxies. This awaits Earth as a conquered member, Xylith said, in a garden alive with plants from hundreds of worlds. Knowledge, abundance, peace. Emma leaned closer. And if we refuse? Xylith's liquid eyes went still. That would raise grave concern. The conquered has measures for dangerous emerging civilizations. So we're dangerous. Any species that toppled. The Vraxians in half a year is, Dr. Hill. The question is where that danger leads, outward or toward growth. The warning was clear. Refusal could mean enforced limits. As Emma's group returned, they did not know human scientists were already reverse engineering scans lifted during the visit. Paul's team worked tirelessly through the night. By dawn, a breakthrough emerged. A message went to the council. We can build this. Give us 6 months. Attached were schematics for a drive akin to the Concorde's own. Humanity had shifted the balance. 6 months passed swiftly. Negotiations dragged. While humanity labored underground in secret facilities, thousands of scientists united under Paul Rodriguez. The Phoenix Program, they called it. Mankind reborn from invasion's ashes to seize the stars. The prototype is ready, Paul told General Crawford and council members assembled deep below New Mexico. A working drive system based on conquered tech. Emma Hill stood among them, torn between hope and fear. As Xylith's main human contact, she walked a knife edge between diplomacy and deception. If they uncover this too soon, she warned, they may act against Earth. Crawford nodded grimly. That's why today's test matters. We must prove we can match them. The cavernous chamber contained a small craft, its shimmering hull echoing Concorde design. The drive generates a pocket of shifted space, Paul explained. The ship doesn't move. Space moves. Countdown beginning, a voice announced. Clear the chamber. 10, 9, 8. Through reinforced glass, they watched energy ripple around. The prototype. At 0, the craft elongated, then vanished in a flash of azure light. Cheers erupted as monitors confirmed the vessel reappearing in Jupiter's orbit exactly as planned. Humanity had cracked faster-than-light travel in 6 months, from observation alone. But the feat did not go unnoticed. Concorde sensors caught the surge instantly. On the flagship, alarms shrieked. Impossible! gasped Zarian as streams of data filled the screens. They've built a working spacefold drive. Ambassador Xylith stared at the readings. At last, she asked, "How long since they first saw our vessels?" 182 days, an aide replied. Water-like eyes rippled with emotion. "Call an emergency session of the Concord Council. The human situation has become critical." Within hours, representatives from over 300 civilizations assembled, most as shimmering holograms, their true bodies light years away. "The evidence is clear," said the Grand Arbiter, an ancient being whose species had founded the Concord. "Humanity has advanced at a rate unseen in galactic history." Ambassador Xylith stepped forward. In less than a year, they leapt from chemical rockets to spacefold drives. Their adaptive capability exceeds every projection. A low murmur passed through the chamber. If humans could rise this quickly now, what would they become in a decade? A century? "We have three options," the Arbiter intoned. "First, full membership without restriction." Dozens of delegates shook their heads. "Second, containment by force. Restrict them to their solar system until maturity." This suggestion drew more support, but Xylith raised her hand. "That would confirm their worst fears," she warned. "They would resist, and resistance would only accelerate their growth. We would create the very enemy we fear." The Arbiter inclined his head, which leaves the third, a new category of membership, recognition of their potential, with guidance to prevent chaos. After fierce debate, the vote passed. Earth would be offered the third path. On Earth, the test flight had changed everything. Some leaders pushed for bold demands. "We've proven we can match them," argued Jack Pfizer. "We should insist on equal standing." Emma Hill countered. "We built one prototype from their designs. They have millennia of knowledge. Caution is survival." The debate ended when an urgent message arrived. Ambassador Xylith and the Grand Arbiter requested an immediate audience. The chamber hushed as the Arbiter's small, radiant form floated above the floor. "People of Earth," his voice thrummed, ancient yet steady. "Your achievement has impressed us," Xylith continued. "The Concord has reconsidered. You will receive unrestricted access to our knowledge. The ban on expansion beyond your system is lifted. In return, you will accept Concord advisors on your most advanced projects and abide by certain ethical standards. This is not containment. It is partnership." General Crawford leaned forward. "Why now?" The Arbiter's light pulsed. "Because you have shown us what we feared most, that trying to restrain you ensures conflict, and conflict drives your evolution." The United Earth Council voted unanimously to accept. Humanity had secured recognition and a path to the stars. Later, Emma Hill confronted Xylith in a quiet corridor. "You didn't tell us everything. What truly changed your minds?" Xylith's eyes shimmered. "We've known species who fought fiercely, who learned quickly, who adapted rapidly, but never one that did all three at once. The galaxy has never seen anything like you. You push hardest when nearest defeat. That terrifies many, but it fascinates us." When the first Concord human ship lifted from Kennedy Space Center, Bill Henderson, former resistance fighter turned teacher, spoke to his students. "They came to conquer us," he said. "Instead, they made us stronger. That's what it means to be human. We don't just survive threats, we transform because of them." Across the stars, civilizations watched with awe and unease. Humanity was stepping into the galaxy not as conquerors or victims, but as something entirely new. A species forged in fire, whose rise would forever alter the order of the cosmos.